Fantasy Cosmetica is one of my favorite indie brands. I think they make phenomenal products, and especially their eyeshadow palettes. Their eyeshadow formulas are great. Their color stories are interesting. They have different sizes of palettes that they release. So today I am going to rank all of my Fantasy Cosmetica palettes from my least favorite to my most favorite. I will link the ones that are available down below in the description box. And if you are shopping at Fantasy Cosmetica, you can use my affiliate code Rachel to save 10% if you would like to. It is an affiliate code, so I do get a small commission if you do make a purchase with the code. And let's talk about the Fantasy Cosmetica palettes in my collection. I swear I have done a Fantasy Cosmetica palette ranking before on my channel, but apparently not. Like, I looked back and I guess I didn't. I thought I had, so I can't link a past version of this. This is the first one I'm doing, but I will just say overall a couple of disclaimers. The first one is this is all based on my own preference, my own opinion, experience, etc. You may love my least favorite palette and you may hate my most favorite palette. It's totally fine with me. We just probably have different preferences. And then the next thing I will say is I think like there's different brands, I feel like have a different situation in terms of their formula, the growth from when they first started to where they are now. I feel like at least the palettes that I've tried from Fantasy Cosmetica, the quality of the shadows is pretty consistent. I don't feel like many of their palettes have different formulas. So it's not really a formula thing. It is really based on color story. That's kind of where I'll start with that. So, okay, so coming in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 palettes I have to rank. So coming in at number 9, I have the Rogue palette. This is the very first palette I ever tried from the brand. I did purchase it myself, and I remember trying this palette. I remember creating a look with this for a dance competition and being blown away, particularly with the shimmers. The shimmer formula from Fantasy Cosmetica is so good, super wet, super shiny, super eye-catching. They do have a couple of different formulas of shimmers, but generally speaking, that's what I would describe them as. And I remember looking at these shimmers and thinking, oh, they look a little textured, a little chunky. But as soon as I dipped my finger in and put it on my lid, it did not look chunky or textured. I'm not a big fan of a textured shimmer. And generally with Fantasy Cosmetica, they don't have textured shimmers. So I appreciate that. The only reason this is coming in at the bottom is a color story thing. Blue is my least favorite color to wear. So like, it's just not a preference for me, but like I have fond memories of this one. And if you are like a blue purple lover, this one is a really nice one. They do typically do 9-pan palettes. They have done other sizes, but 9-pan is usually their bread and butter. So I do like that it's compact, but it is versatile enough that you're able to create a few different looks. And also, by the way, everything that is on my face will be down in the description box. I did film this look for short form. It should already be up. If it is up, I will link it down below. And as I'm going through these palettes, I forgot to mention, I would love to know your favorite Fantasy Cosmetica palette, or let me know your thoughts on the ones that I'm talking about. Coming in at number 8, I have the Wizard palette, another 9-pan palette that is heavily blue purple with a couple of pops of butter yellow, which I think is fun. Another thing I forgot to mention is Fantasy Cosmetica is a fantasy-based brand. So a lot of their things are very like fantasy-based characters from fantasy gaming, fantasy novels, fantasy movies that you will see. So I really enjoy their theming. Again, color story-wise, not my ultimate favorite, although I will say if I am wearing blue shadows, I love like cool toned icy blues versus like greenish blues, aquas, teals, not my favorite color, like my least favorite color. But these types of blues actually I think are really pretty. They are extremely, like the mattes are extremely pigmented. You are able to get them to show up on your eyes like they do in the pan, which I think is really, really unique for such a rich, saturated shade. I do enjoy these pops of butter yellow. I think it's very unique and I love using them in my inner corner when I have this like dark blue smoky look with a pop of this butter yellow. I think it's really fun, different. You don't see that mixed with blues very often. There is a holographic shade in here, which their holographic shades are so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. A really good smooth holographic formula. So yeah, I mean, it's just heavily blue. That's the only reason it's coming in where it is. Coming in at number 7, I have the Cradled and Ice palette. another heavily blue palette. This one is one of their larger palettes. I think this was the first palette that they did outside of their 9 palette format. So it is, I believe, 12 shades. Yes, 12 shades. And this is coming in a little higher than the other 2 blue palettes because it is half pinky berries, which I really enjoy, a pinky berry mauve color story. I do gravitate towards warm tones overall, but if I am going to do cool tones, I do enjoy a mauve berry pinky kind of look. So really enjoy this side of the palette. I think these 2 color stories work really well together. I enjoy that they have this kind of double-sided color story, and everything I talked about with their formulas. The shimmers are very shiny, very sparkly. The mattes are pigmented, blendable. Something about this, which I really enjoy, is even though there are 2 monochromatic sides, I do enjoy that the mattes that are featured are light, mid-tone, and deep. So you can create, at least I can create a really good cohesive look with a nice gradient. I always prefer that in a palette. So really nice. I like that it is dragon themed. That's really fun. And I love the cover art on this one. A really good palette. And by the way, as I'm going through these and I'm popping up close-ups and swatches, the ones that I got in PR, I'm putting the letters PR up on the screen. And now also in the description box, I put an asterisk next to the palettes that I received in PR. Coming in at number 6, I have the Enchanted Autumn palette. This was in collaboration with Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda. I've met her a couple of times. I think she is a wonderful person. She's so funny, and she created an absolutely beautiful palette with the brand. Something I really appreciate, at least this is what I say to myself and how I see it, I can definitely see a lot of 2 shadow looks. These shadows that are placed next to each other, you can just use that matte, blend it through your crease, pop the shimmer on the lid, and you're good to go. Which honestly, for many years, was not my style, but it is becoming more my style. I am appreciating a simple eye look nowadays, so you can absolutely create that with this palette. Of course, you can do more than that with this palette, but that's kind of how I see it and how I feel it's unique in the brand. For me personally, I do prefer a light, mid-tone, and deep gradient in the mattes, like I've already said, and this doesn't really have that. It has mostly mid-tone mattes. So again, if that's something you're looking for and you enjoy this kind of like muted, colorful color story, this could be for you. This shade Libra up here, this silver, it is absolutely beautiful. Super, super foiled, super shiny. I do feel like some of the shimmers in this palette in particular are a little bit more on the subtle side, which is not featured in many of their palettes. So again, if that's something you're looking for, maybe you would enjoy it. So yeah, really beautiful palette, and I love seeing creators collaborate with their favorite brands. Coming in at number 5, I have the Warlock palette. We're back to the 9-pan palettes with this one, and we have a really fun, very interesting color story. I remember when I first got this and I was watching other people's reviews, they were saying that they felt it was a little jumbled. I actually really like this color story a lot. I feel like I was able to create several different looks that I really enjoyed. And I really appreciate that it is a 9-pan palette, but there is quite a lot of variety in this. It's not all monochromatic. And I remember using the shade Ritual. It is a multi-chrome. It is so stunning. I just love me like a grungy, yellowy green, like, oh, it's like one of my ultimate favorite colors to wear ever. So really love that. I love these lime greens. I do enjoy like a purple. So I enjoy the purple berries down here. So yeah, I mean, I just prefer a little bit more of the other color stories going forward, but otherwise a really nice palette. Coming in at number 4, I have the Harvest of Souls palette. This was a release that they had last year. This is their biggest palette to date. And I love the actual like cover art as well. And we have quite a variety of shades in this palette. The way that I personally see this laid out is in quads. We've got some more monochromatic quads going on here. Now, of course, like I said, you can mix and match, not a problem, but I do feel like it is easy to create more cohesive looks. If you're, in a rush or you're not really sure, you're new to color combinations, the quads in this are really, really helpful in my opinion. So light, mid-tone, and deep in the mattes, which I appreciate. Absolutely beautiful shimmers in this. We've got a couple of multi-chromes, super smooth, super shiny. Again, I love these grungy greens up here. And although I'm not a huge fan of blues, there's only a few blues here. We've got some greens, we've got some purples. I am a huge fan of neutrals, especially warm neutrals, and my two favorite colors to wear are green and purple. So we've got greens and purples in here. I'm happy with that. Really good quality palette, and it's big without being too big, you know what I mean? All right, the top three. I am wearing the number 3 palette on my eyes right now, and it is, at the moment of filming, it is their newest release, and that is the Ranger palette. This palette is so gorgeous. Obviously, it's in my top 3, so you know I love it. We have quite a few warm tones down here, and I love a warm, fiery look. It is my favorite look to create, generally speaking. And I really enjoy, again, mid-tone that I can put in my crease. I can put this in the crease lower. I can deepen up with this. This is like an olive green, but I feel like it works with either side of the palette. We have two absolutely gorgeous, fiery, warm shimmers. We have this like iridescent multi-chrome, which is a mint. I'm wearing this in my inner corner. I'm wearing the shade Wilderness all over my lid, and I just love, I love how it looks. If I want a matte inner corner, I can use this mint green, and of course, if I want to pull the whole look much more Kelly green, I can use this. Really well laid out. Again, an interesting color story that I really haven't seen other brands do, and especially in such a small format where you can create several different looks with this little tiny color story. It is versatile enough. I think it's a really nice, really, really nice palette. Great quality. This shade Ambush is so pretty too. I mean, really, really, really stunning. And when I first looked at it, I wasn't sure, but after creating looks with it, I was like, wow, I'm actually surprised at how many looks I can get out of it. Coming in at number 2, we have the Monk palette. This also came out this year, but just before the Ranger palette. I mean, if you look at this, you'll know why I love it so much based on everything I've talked about. I love warm tones. I love yellows, I love oranges, I love like warm browns, and this palette is full of those shades. You're not really gonna get too many different looks, I think, compared to like the Ranger palette, because it is pretty monochromatic, but I love the look. So I don't hate it. Like I love the look. I love the look that I'm getting. I do really appreciate that there is a dark brown so that I can deepen up the look, and there are several different like yellowy orange options. We have this iridescent, this is another iridescent multi-chrome. It's so beautiful. We have a couple more like mid-tone to deep shimmers, and then we have this marbled shade, which is so, so pretty. It has like multicolor specks throughout it. I mean, I just love warm tones, so this is right up my alley in terms of color story. And coming in at number 1, can I get a drum roll, please? My number 1 palette from the brand that I've tried. I haven't tried every palette from the brand, by the way, but all the ones I've tried, my favorite is the Fighter palette. This is the most neutral palette that I've tried from the brand, but I don't think it's all boring browns, different shades of brown. We do have brown. We have more of a cool toned like grayish charcoal. We have this deeper shimmer here. We've got something that leans a little more warm. I love a mustard, so we've got that. And then these are definitely leaning more cool tone. So if you like cool tones and like a mix of cool tones and warm toned neutrals, this would be a perfect one for you. And I don't think it's just strictly for a neutral lover. I think even if you love color, there is some like muted, colorful tones as well. I just really enjoy the looks I got out of this. I've traveled with this palette several times, and it's got the great quality that I love from the brand. So I really can't complain. So yeah, really interesting neutral palette. And a lot of brands don't have that in their arsenal. So I'm so excited that Fantasy Cosmetica does. All right, and that is it for this palette ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts on Fantasy Cosmetica. What are your favorite palettes from the brand? Have you tried the brand? Have you not tried the brand? If you haven't tried the brand, what's a palette that I featured today that would be up your alley? I would love to know. And I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.